make some opening remarks, then he'll take questions from the floor. So now I'd like to call upon Brian.
Well, first off, to echo what Pat said, thank you for assembling on short notice. I know I say this all the time, but we do appreciate it. Our schedules don't contemplate yours all the time, so thank you. It's with great pleasure that we announce that we have agreed to terms with Jonas Gustavsson, Swedish goaltender that's received a great deal of attention here and was the target of a hunt by a number of teams and has chosen Toronto. We're very pleased with that. It's our intention that Jonas would come in and back up Vesa Toskala. It is still our plan that Vesa would be the starter here. But as I've said before, there are two athletes that audition every night, pitchers and goaltenders. So how the actual split of ice time works out will be up to the goaltenders and the coaching staff. But in my mind, to be able to acquire a prospect of this value without expending a draft pick is a major acquisition for us. And I would mention the target of a very determined hunt on our own. I don't know if we've ever worked this hard to get one player, and certainly not in my life. So we're very excited about that. It caps off what's been a pretty hectic, pretty busy, and pretty productive few days for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Question?
Brian, you said yesterday that he was playing his cards really tight, and you didn't know which way he was going to lean. When did he actually decide that Toronto was the team that he wanted to go to?
Well, physically, like to go over the time frame, he told me on, what's today? Today's Tuesday. He told me Sunday that he was going to come with Toronto, but at that point, we hadn't obtained a release from his team in Sweden, from Färjestad. We've been told that they were going to release him and everything was fine. And we hadn't actually, at this point, this is all just getting him to decide where he wants to go. We hadn't talked about a contract. So Sunday, when I talk about playing his vest, that's playing his cards close. That was when I was in Sweden. When I left Karlstad on Friday afternoon, I flew back. Took the train back to Stockholm, and then flew back here Saturday. When I left Friday afternoon, I had no idea which way he was going to go. Like, he didn't tip his hand at all. Like, he didn't give any indication. And usually, the athlete, his girlfriend was there, Emily, and usually someone will do something that gives you some sense where you can, we're getting somewhere with this guy. It's like playing cards. You see some sign that you might have an edge, and I never got that. But he told me on Sunday he was coming, but then there was still a contract to be negotiated and then the release from Färjestad. So it actually we didn't file the paperwork until noon today or 11:30 this morning.
Can you sort of detail a timeline of when you first met him and how many visits you went over there? There was even some thought that you might have attended his mother's funeral.
I offered to attend his mother's funeral, and it was a private ceremony, and Jonas made it very clear that he had no interest in me being there, that it was friends and family. So I went over at that time and actually took him out for supper the next night in Stockholm. So I did not attend the funeral, but our first reports that were filed on him as a goaltender we should be looking after actually began last year, a year ago. And then this year, we were interested in a couple goaltending prospects, and his name just kept coming up and coming up and coming up. So we backed out of a couple other, acquisitions we were interested in and focused on him. I met with him during the World Championships in Bern, Switzerland. I went back over and met with him in Stockholm after his mom's funeral, and then went back over last week. And I think it should show the confidence that I have in Dave Nonis that I would fly to Stockholm on the night of June 30th and let him handle what we knew was going to be a busy time with the other free agents. So we're fortunate to have a guy here that could do that.
What do you think pushed it over the top in your favor?
I don't know. Maybe, probably Francois Allaire, I'm guessing, the fact that we signed him. Maybe the persistence. I do feel he struggled with the decision, and our thought was that we wanted to be the last team he talked to, and that's why I went back over. Maybe just us hounding him. I don't know. Maybe opportunity. We don't. You'd have to ask Jonas.